All right, hey guys, welcome back to the third part of the Hey Guys Head Sculpting Edition. All right, so I'm just going to do the one eyeball on this demonstration. I'm not going to do the other eyeball. It's exactly the same, just a mirrored reflection of it. So cheekbones actually occur, this is where we're going to start, more out here to the side than up against the nose. They're a little bit higher than most people believe. And I'm pretty happy with that cheekbone right there. All right, so what that's also done is that's also filled up some of the cavity that my thumb created when I made that eye socket. So I'm going to bring that up, let that kind of form together right there. All right, so now let's talk about the mouth. So again, here's our line for our mouth. Now the mouth is as long as from the center of this eye to the center of this eye. Okay? We can see that depicted right here. The eyes line up with the mouth as in the front view. All right, so here's how I like to make lips. Okay, so I'm only doing the one cheekbone for right now. Let's make some lips. So when I make the lips, I start with the upper lip. The upper lip is longer than the lower lip. I'm going to roll out a little coil here for my lip. And this time, instead of being tapered on one end, I'm going to want it to be tapered on both ends. Okay? So I may have to trim it off, taper it down, trim it off, taper it down until I get it the right size. I don't want this to be too thick. Because I want this lip to look as realistic as possible. All right, so I'm going to lay that on there. I'm going to press it in a little bit, but try to maintain that roundness. I don't want to lose the roundness. Taper those ends in. Now, that is not finished. Okay? So first of all, it's still a little bit too long. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit. Now, this is oftentimes where people stop with the lips. Let's go ahead and put on the lower lip and I'll show you what I see all too often. So I'm going to roll out another coil. This one might be a little bit fatter than the top coil. And it also should be a little bit shorter because the upper lip is a little bit longer than the lower lip. All right, so I'm going to put that right underneath there. Give a little bit of a curve. All right. So too many times I see students stop at that point. Well, nobody has lips like that. I think that part of the reason why we think that our lips are just like sausages sitting on the front of our face is because we often see people depicted in magazines and stuff wearing lipstick that clearly defines the lips. Well, if we take off that lipstick, we notice that our upper lip actually blends back into our face. This blending, this taper, is kind of a long, gradual taper, as if it were like some sort of ramp going up to meet the rest of our face. So we taper this down, kind of a long, flat taper. But we want to maintain that last little bit of curve. Notice how I didn't touch that last little bit of curve, left that on there. So that I have the roll of the lip. I might bring this down just a little bit more, bring this down a little bit more, but that's pretty good. Now the bottom lip, if you look at it this way, we want to make that taper be a lot faster in, with a little bit more curve showing. So that it rolls down into our chin and it sticks out a little bit further. All right, so we see that our lips are pushing out, right? Now, if we start to sculpt in the nose, we're gonna have that little thing right there, and as I'm pushing that in, see what I do to the line between the lips? I give it that little bit of a push down right there that creates that space. Now I can take my tool, cut out a nostril here. Cut out a nostril here. Making sure that this is the lowest part of the nose, and the nostrils push back up. Blend this in right here. Blend this in right here. And then if I want to, establish those nostrils, yeah, pinch that in right here. And kind of smooth things out a little bit. Okay, and then depending on how much you want to make what they call the frown line, that little line that goes from your nostrils to the outer part of your lips, you can establish that. Maybe bring these lips back a little bit further. And don't be afraid to cut those in kind of harsh and then smooth them back out. A lot of the process is 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. A little smoothing where I can't quite get in there with my finger with one of these rubber tools. And I think this side of the face is looking pretty good. Now I may want to add a little bit to make a little bit stronger chin, and you can do that. Just don't make it too much longer. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.